A few months ago, my wife approached me with the incredible idea of taking a nice little weekend down to Atlantic City. While I was daydreaming of beaches, drinks, and casinos, she so rudely interrupted me by telling me that there will be no beaches because we will be going in chilly-ass November, and there won't be any casinos or drinks either, because instead we'll be running in the Spartan Deka World Championship and finishing our Spartan Deka trifecta. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. So I kissed those daydreams of beaches, drinks, and casinos away, and instead we earned our mark at the Spartan Deka World Championship. Let's go over a little bit of our race recap and answer the big question, is this the best test of fitness out there? Now for just a quick little recap in case you haven't seen my Spartan Deka vs. High Rocks video, Spartan Deka consists of 10 functional fitness exercises with possibly a short run in between. The reason why I say possibly is because just like the regular Spartan events, there are 3 different levels. But instead of the sprint, the super, and the beast, they are instead the strong, the mile, and the fit. Now, the fit is what we ran at the Deka World Championship. That consists of those 10 exercises, 500-meter run in between. The mile consists of those same 10 exercises with a 0.1 mile run in between. And the strong consists of those 10 exercises with 0 runs in between. Jumping right into the action, I am at the starting line and we are about to take off. The wife is filming, she's gonna follow me around, and off we go. At the Deka Fit, you start with a run. So at this arena, we did 2 laps. I've seen other arenas where you do 1 lap. I've seen them where you do 3 laps. It all depends on the size of the arena to get those 500 meters. Coming around into this first exercise, the 30 ram reverse lunges. As you can see, I was ahead of my entire heat. I was the first one into this zone, and I was the first one out. So I started off feeling pretty dang good. Even though I'm not running in a competitive, technically, event, all of these things are judged exactly the same. So I do like that. So it doesn't matter if you're running in an elite or an open event, they're all judged exactly the same. You have judges watching over you and you can't continue until you complete that zone. Second zone, 500-meter row, still feeling pretty strong, still ahead of my pack. Now coming into this, in my training, I tried this new technique where I did 100 meters overhand row and 100 meters underhand row. I figured I would try the same thing in this race. I did it once, as you can see. Do this for about 100 meters, switch back. I don't think it really helped me. I stayed rowing the regular way. I was a rower all through high school, so this is a pretty good exercise, pretty strong exercise for me. Okay, so third exercise, 24-inch box step overs. Got to do 20 of them. My amazing videographer wife, while trying to film this, was actually pressing the picture button. So we got some beautiful stills of me not in the zone. So instead, I'm taking her footage, the footage I got of her race, to show you guys a little glimpse of what these box jumps are. She did them pretty dang good. I'm pretty proud of her, especially since she went into this with almost 0 training. Zone number 4 is one that I look forward to, the medicine ball sit-up throws. And that's because I'm actually pretty good at it. It's quite a bit of a rest for me compared to a lot of the other zones. However, I ran into a bit of a problem. I forgot about the packet of crampies that was in my back pocket, and a few reps in, I got worried that it was gonna pop and I'd have red liquid running down my leg. That wouldn't look too good. I can only imagine what people would be thinking if they saw that. So I had to stop, take it out of my pocket before I continued and finished on. Zone 5 is the 500-meter ski erg, and this is the first time in the race that I doubted how well I was gonna be able to perform. This always happens at least once in a race. I'm out there and I'm wondering, why the hell am I doing this? That question is always answered once I cross the finish line, and I'm always ready for my next one. But there is that moment in every race that I'm questioning, what did I get myself into? And the ski erg was that moment for me in the Deka World Championship. Zone 6 is the farmer's carry. This is one that both me and my wife tend to struggle at. My grip strength is a little bit better than hers, but I usually can't get through an entire round without putting it down at least once. but surprisingly, somehow both her and I managed to get through the entire track without putting it down. I think this is because there aren't that many turns for me. I know the turns are the hard part. It's where the dumbbells start swinging. It's where I start losing my grip. There were only a few turns and not as many 180-degree turns. A lot of them were 90-degree turns, which made it a lot easier. All right, zone 7, the infamous assault bike. Now, this is known to be the hardest zone at Spartan Deka, and you will see why. It is torturous. You're in a living hell at that moment, so you just do what you gotta do to get through it. And just in case I suddenly got confused and was wondering what the hell am I doing on this bike, luckily I had my wife there to remind me to keep going over and over and over again.
Go, go. Keep going. Keep going.
But I didn't worry. I knew that she still had to race and her living hell was still yet to come. And that sweet comfort is what got me through that last little bit. Zone 8, much like the medicine ball throws, is one that I actually enjoy. It's one that I find to be a little bit of a rest. It is a little taxing on the lower back because you tend to not lift with proper form. At least I don't in a race because I'm too excited. I'm trying to get through it as fast as possible. But hey, as long as you get through it without getting injured, you can move on to the next zone. Now, zone 9 is the tank push and pull. This is one that I have trained for relentlessly. I came in confident, I grabbed the handles so my transitions can be quicker, and I took off. And as soon as I started to push, my feet started to slide, and I realized that this was not going to be your typical tank push and pull that I've done in the past. Not only was the floor in this arena slippery as hell, but I looked down to notice a 60-pound dumbbell sitting right in the middle of the tank. The guy tried to tell me that it wasn't adding any extra weight, it was only to add friction to the wheels so they don't slip. But I'm calling BS. Even if it's just for the fact that I have to look at that damn thing the entire time I'm pushing and it screws with my mind. So coming around into zone 10, we are almost done. But of course, before you cross that finish line, earn your mark and get that medal, you gotta complete those 20 ram burpees. I was feeling pretty exhausted coming into this. I didn't know how much I had left to give. However, I look up and I notice that my judge is none other than a High Rocks World Champion. And she's not too bad looking, but don't tell my wife that. And that gave me the little bit of added motivation that I needed to get across that finish line. Nobody wants to look like a wimp in front of a High Rocks World Champion, especially one that could smoke your time no problem. All right, let's finish up, earn our mark, and get that medal.
Last one. 20. Woo! Woo!
You can see here, after I finished, the woman came over to hand me my medal. I didn't even see her. All I saw was that cold concrete ground and it looked so good. And let me tell you, it felt amazing just laying there after killing myself for the last, what ended up being 43 minutes. Now, after I eventually got up off the ground and checked my results, turns out I placed 3rd in my age group, which is the best I have ever done in any race. So while we were leaving, I noticed that the podium was empty and they happened to leave the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place rams out. So I ran up there and had my wife snap a little shot of me holding that 3rd place ram above my head. Now, I know I didn't actually earn it. I didn't actually podium because I didn't run in the elite race. But hey, it'll give me a little bit of motivation looking at that thing and reminding me what I'm out here working towards next year. Now that the race is over, let's answer that big question. Is this the best test of physical fitness out there? Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because yes, I do think that these functional fitness races are the best test of fitness out there because they test every ability you have. They test your strength, they test your cardiovascular ability, and they test your endurance. However, I do not necessarily think that Spartan Deka is the end-all be-all of those functional fitness races. It is my favorite because a lot of the zones appeal to my strengths, but maybe they don't appeal to yours. There are other organizations out there that hold these types of events. So don't get stuck on Spartan Deka. Take a look at what's in your area and make your decision based on your strengths or based on what you want to challenge yourself with. Now, sadly, I only know of 2 organizations right now that are holding these types of events. Spartan Deka is obviously one of them, and Hyrox is the other. If you know of any other organizations, please leave a comment below. Tell me about it. I would love to know about other ones, and I would love to go out there and give them a try. So despite which organization you feel would best fit your strengths, just make that commitment, get out there, train hard, and go see what you're made of.
You can do it!
And who knows, you might even get a pretty Hyrox World Champion as your final judge. Oh, and one last little piece of advice. If your husband or wife comes up and tells you, hey honey, let's take a nice little weekend away, don't do it. They're lying. It's a trap.
Out of here while you still can. Go now!
Let's go!
Go!
So with that being said, remember, until next time, stay safe, train hard, and believe in yourself. You're stronger than you think.